Welcome to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast with Mike Kincaid and Jake Goebel. Join them as they experience specialty coffee and document their journey. These friends explore roasts and roasting methods, brewing equipment and techniques, and review the cafes they visit along the way.
Thanks, Brioni, and thank you for joining us for episode 54 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. Mike and I talk about Thanks a Latte, a little coffee shop that I visited in Camp Verde. We talked about Manny G recommending vacuum sealing your coffee. That's something that we discussed a little bit in the past. And we get into some other things. I hope you enjoy it.
You ready?
I'm ready. Okay, we'll start. Well, hey, now I got nothing to say.
Just went blank.
All right. Well, welcome to episode 54 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. I am Jake Goebel. I'm kicking it here with Mike Kincaid, the Mike Kincaid, and we are videoing again. Oh. So if something happens that is like visual, I'll try and explain it, describe it, whatever. I'll do my best. Can't promise anything, but anyhow, hey, how's it going?
It's quite all right. I fill in screen grabs and pictures and anything we talk about, I'm trying to include visuals in the video. So you're not just staring at the side
profile
of us the whole time talking.
Because we are pretty gorgeous. I mean,
well, sure.
No?
But beauty is in the eye.
Of the beholder. Perfect.
Yeah.
So
no,
it's this show is going out on Monday, June 5th.
If all goes well.
If all goes well, unless something crazy happens. June 9th. Friday, day. June 9th.
Isn't that a day after something?
That's the day after my birthday.
There you go.
Don't worry about my birthday, though, because we're doing something special for you. So maybe we can I don't know if I want to get right into this, but I'm going to plug it. I'm going to plug it, and I'm going to keep it going. And here's the thing. This is the most important part. We are constantly trying to add value to your coffee life, your coffee world.
And
add
value.
Our coffee world.
Sounds like a good business proposition to have.
Got turned upside down. Our coffee world got turned upside down.
I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there.
By the one, by the only, Scott Rao.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes, absolutely. Scott Rao, and we teased this a couple months ago. We said, hey, we're working with somebody, the question and answers, send us your questions. But we didn't say names because it wasn't legit. It wasn't ready to go. It wasn't, well, okay, well, it was legit, but we didn't know.
We wanted to provide opportunity for
Scott to back out.
Mr. Rao to say, you know what?
Yes.
I entertained the idea, but...
You guys are bozos. I'm done with you. So,
but he's much too gracious for that.
He's far too gracious. So we're going to plug it today. We're going to tease it today. It's coming on Friday, the very first episode.
Episode 1.
Episode 1, where Scott Rao answers your coffee questions.
Yes.
So here's the deal. If you have questions about coffee, send them to us. Mike at orangecactuscoffee.com, Jacob at orangecactuscoffee.com, and the master. Well, he's not going to answer all your questions, not every single one that you send in.
No. I think what he said, he would basically look through the list, look through all the submissions, and try and pick one that he thinks he can add value to or provide a good answer that would benefit the community.
Yes.
Now, I will qualify, and I think as we've had a dialogue with Scott a little bit, the type of questions he's looking for are ones that I think speak more to the foundational understanding of coffee principles.
Right.
He can't, address your specific situation in a quick 1 minute, 2 minute question.
Right.
If you're like, hey, I'm roasting on the probat, I got this is my probe, and I'm getting baked flavors, blah, blah, blah. How can I fix that? That's a little bit too technical, and honestly, that crosses over into his professional consulting side.
Right.
And that's really what it requires. So when you're asking your questions, try and think of, okay, foundational. And I think after you hear the first one that we're going to air, you'll see exactly what we mean. But don't let that deter you. Submit the question.
Sling them.
And he'll pick it.
Sling them.
But try and think. It reminds me of like math. I had a math teacher when we'd be going through like calculus, and I'd ask a question. And he'd go, no, you need to think back to algebra. Think back, go back to the original equation. And that will help you. It was always frustrating sometimes that you had to back up.
Always sometimes?
Always.
Frustrating sometimes.
Sometimes in the moment, you felt like it was always frustrating.
Good.
But you see what I'm saying? Like there's a foundational understanding that when you go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If I would do it this way, then that helps me get the answer now. So
and that's what we're looking for. And that's what Scott's looking for. Some foundational coffee questions that get you going on the right track.
Yeah. And I'm really excited about, we have the first one ready to go.
Yes.
And I think
we put a lot of work into this one.
Yeah. Well, you specifically, Jake, have done a lot of work. And I think it turned out great. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It was a question that I've had many times.
Yeah.
And after hearing his answer, I'm like, wow, it makes perfect sense. And not only that, I think there's a way to actually understand the answer by some of the feedback he gives.
Right. Yeah. I know what you're saying. So that's kind of how it's going to work. On Monday and Wednesday, you're going to get the typical two bozos that show up for Orange Cactus Coffee.
Yes.
Mike and Jake. And on some Fridays.
Well, don't forget the single bozo, the rest of the day.
Yeah. The daily ristrettos. Yeah. I don't even count that guy. So, but then not every Friday. It's not going to be every Friday. Scott's a very busy guy, and when he's available, when he has time to add value to the conversation, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be on Fridays. So, but we'll plug it earlier in the week before we sling it out
special
there.
For the weekend,
or we'll plug it when one of the daily ristrettos or something. So,
and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll probably throw some stuff out there. Facebook,
and you know what? If you have some questions, you can sling them to us. DM us on Instagram and DM us on Twitter as well.
How can they get the questions? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Anyway, any way you would like.
Anyway. Whatever you want. Just don't send them. Don't bombard Scott with them.
No, he won't.
Bombard us with them. That's what we're here for.
YouTube videos, anything. Anywhere, we'll pull them.
Yes.
And we'll send them.
We'll pull them. We'll send them.
We'll package them.
Bombard us because we got nothing better to do.
Nope.
It's like sit here and try and get your coffee questions answered. And really, I'm being dead serious. We really want to add value to your coffee experience. That's the deal.
Yeah.
That's the deal. And Scott does as well.
And along with the question, it's nice, and we would love to feature your name if you would like.
Yeah.
You say, if you're cool with that, say, hey, I'm good to go. Or if you're just like, if you'd rather not, that's cool too.
Yeah.
We'll make up some alias for you.
Right.
And maybe you're more comfortable sharing it under an alias. That's fine. There really is no, I know it's so cliche, but ask all the questions.
Yeah.
Because
there are stupid questions, but if you ask them, you'll never know that we thought your question was stupid.
Well, they might lead to a good question, or it might be reformed.
Your question might be so stupid that it leads to a good question. And I speak from a vast wealth of experience here.
Yes, you do.
Because I always ask all the dumb questions.
Exactly.
And every once in a while, something good comes from them. All right. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you somebody who does not ask stupid questions. That's Manny G.
Manny G Recommends.
Oh, nice.
What does Manny G recommend today? Manny G recommends vacuum sealing excess beans and freezing them. Now, you must vacuum seal them to get the oxygen and condensation out.
Yes.
He recently completed an experiment and found the beans were as fresh as the day he froze them.
Mind blown.
Now, here's the deal. Mike and I, we talked about this before.
Yes.
So Manny he said, you know what?
Try it.
You guys just want to talk about it? I'm going to be about it. So Manny G is out there being about it. But here's the deal. You have to re-vacuum every time.
Yeah, you got to take the oxygen out.
You got to take the oxygen out because that's what's going to destroy it. You can't just throw it in the freezer.
Have a good bag.
Yeah. You have to reseal it every time and suck all the air out, suck all the oxygen out.
And I think what was interesting is the reason he said he decided to do this because I think he had a little buying spree where he's quite excited, right? Maybe all these deals, all these good coffee brands were releasing some good coffees.
Yeah.
And he found himself, in possession of too much coffee.
Right. And so you have two options.
He's like, well, I want to try them all. So he opened them all up, cycled through them for a couple days, and then now what? I ain't going to drink this in the next 2 weeks.
Well, that's one option.
Yeah.
Is you drink all of them.
Yeah. Well, that is one option.
Yeah.
Might not be the best, or you vacuum seal.
Yeah.
Freeze it. Take the air out, throw it in the freezer, and you will be surprised. I think we've talked previously. There was an article written by someone in Australia that did crazy testing. In fact, there is a shop in Australia that does this. All of their espresso shots are individually vacuum sealed.
Yes.
And they say that sometimes they've even found the flavors to be more amazing 6 to 9 months in.
They will take the whole beans, right? They're not grinding them.
Correct.
They are vacuum sealing each pre-dosed, pre-measured dose. There we go.
Yeah.
They're vacuum sealing it. They keep it that way.
Yeah.
And when it's ready to go, they take it out of this vacuum seal, dump the beans, grind it, serve it.
Yeah. And they found that accomplishes two things. One, you have this amazing flavor and freshness that is sealed. And two, well, I guess it's a little prep work, but then it's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's just grab and go. And then number three, your beans are frozen, so when you throw it in the grinder, they heat them up just, without overheating them. It brings them up to kind of room temperature, and they grind better.
Didn't he say something about less waste as well because they were measuring each dose? Or was that a different article maybe?
I mean, it makes sense, but I don't recall.
So the drawbacks are you got to get a vacuum sealer and you got to have the bags out there. So it's a little bit more work.
It's a lot of work.
For some folks, just making it to the K-Cup machine, making it to the Keurig machine is more effort than they want to do or put into coffee.
Though.
Yeah, it's meal. Yeah, absolutely.
And that same guy for home use, vacuum sealed, but he did because Manny was talking about he would open a bag and if you want to seal it back up, you got to make sure you re-vacuum seal it.
Yes.
The guy that wrote the article for home use said that he would vacuum seal in about a week's worth. So he would open one up, and it would be good to go for a week, drink through that.
Yeah.
And the rest are sealed in other bags, kind of in week portions.
Yeah.
So a little more prep, but then you don't have to reseal anything.
Yeah. And Blue Bottles perfectly ground is kind of the same concept that each serving is ground in a vacuumed or oxygen-free environment.
Yeah.
And then sealed in an oxygen-free package, and then shipped to you.
And we've enjoyed it. It's
been
been great.
It was good. It was a little pricier. It's a little more expensive, but
it is. Yeah.
But they're doing the work for you.
You pay for convenience.
Yeah, you pay for the convenience.
And I know that the group they partnered with to produce that, bring that to market, is currently looking to do that same thing with K-Cups.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting. So the limitations of the Keurig machine you've expressed before in some of the ristrettos about how weak the coffee is, but there's kind of hacks for that.
Yeah.
It's not the best brewer, but if you have fresh coffee in there, along the same lines as Blue Bottle's perfectly ground, that's a big improvement.
Yeah. Well, anything is an improvement over what they've got. Okay. Sorry.
I just don't know if the Keurig can handle an active coffee.
Blow up.
With like you've expressed recently.
Get blowed up.
With the Kalita, brewing over the top because it's so active.
Yeah.
Honestly, active, fresh coffee is a problem for a lot of brewers, especially automatic brewers.
But I love it. I love active, fresh coffee.
You love that
it's
line.
So
that volcanic
good.
excitement.
I do.
Ooh.
It's visually exciting.
We're going to make a mess this morning.
We're going to make a mess out of all of this right here. Just watch me go. Just watch me go. Just watch me. So,
where are we going next?
The coffee reviews.
Coffee reviews.
Yeah. What are you drinking? Are you drinking anything besides Saguaro? Anything besides Orange Cactus coffee?
I have started the journey, and I know this probably crosses over into the Orange Cactus update, but it's fitting.
We can update the King Cup here.
Well, that's kind of where I was going, because that's the other thing I've been drinking, is I've been trying to find, we've discussed previously that the King Cup we'd like to offer would be, a drink fitting.
For a king. Yeah. The Saguaro, we wanted to be the every day cup of coffee. Your daily driver.
Yeah.
The everyman's cup.
Yeah.
And
everybody's friend.
And the ghostly roaster said, if that's the case, you're pricing it like a Ferrari and expecting everyone to be able to drive your Ford, Escort. Maybe not. They don't make Escorts anymore. Ford Focus. So we revisited the pricing model and we said, you know what? You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. We revisited it. We chopped the price in half.
Rewind.
And we added, we said, we're not going to pay for shipping. You got to kind of pay for shipping. We'll split the cost a little bit there. And we came up with a better price for the Saguaro. Yes. And we came up with, we've had two different beans there. But the King Cup, we've experimented with before. You ordered a geisha for the King Cup before. That was like $5,000 a pound.
Yeah, the geisha was quite pricey. It was very good. And I think for me, the geisha was, I think, something we could offer. But I would like the King Cup to be
Cufflinks, gold cufflinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think it needs to go with a nice tie.
Yeah.
You have to have a nice,
A
even
cummerbund.
suspender.
Cummerbund.
Yeah. You can't forget. I like tie clips. I think they're great.
I love tie clips.
Yeah, I think they're great. Some you got to be careful. Some don't fit so well, and they kind of scrunch your tie up.
Yeah.
Or you have to like push it against the side of the tie to keep it from falling because a slanted tie clip looks sloppy.
Worse than no tie clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be careful there.
Yeah.
But we want the King Cup to be another offering that's available all the time.
Yes.
And so if you go with something like as elite as a geisha for your...
It's not gonna be available all the time.
It's going to be tough to get your hands on. So
I kind of want a lemon zinger type flavor.
I think...
Like a tart right there in the side
maybe
of the mouth.
Maybe a stone fruit.
Stone fruit?
Maybe
Yeah.
hints of floral, some fruitiness.
Yeah.
Just a little more...
A lingering juicy.
Maybe, exactly. A little bit more party going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I'm going for. So currently, I've got 3 different coffees from Ethiopia that we're going to sample roast.
I'm not looking for blueberries to the face with the King Cup.
None of them are natties,
Okay, yeah.
which, you might get some type of
A little bit of
fruitiness.
cherry, maybe.
Exactly. More of the stone fruit,
Yeah, the stone fruit.
but not the...
That's what I want. That's what I want.
So that's what we're shooting for, and that's what I've been drinking. I had some previously from others that I thought might be an option, but they didn't. I didn't
They
care
didn't turn
for
out.
them.
Okay.
So I just drank them.
Cool. Anything else you're drinking? So you're drinking through, so to be clear, what you're drinking is you're roasting a bunch of different beans and drinking them, mugging them, and trying to figure out if these coffees are good for the next King Cup.
Yes.
Are you drinking anything else?
And the Saguaro.
And the
Just the Saguaro.
yeah.
I have a lot of
I don't want to talk about it.
Saguaro potentials that are left over, like
Yeah.
half a pound, quarter pound that we just said no.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm just
different beans.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stuff that we didn't
just
wasn't
want-
good enough.
I don't want it to feel like a big right hook here with the saguaro, even though I've been drinking it too much. Too
Yeah,
much.
I've enjoyed it.
So let me tell you,
What are you
Chris.
drinking?
Well, I'm not drinking anything but saguaro right now.
No, you had something today.
I had a decaf Rwanda.
You had a decaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that. This is your first time having a decaf.
This was the first time. So Mike gave me this decaf like 6 months ago.
maybe 6 weeks.
It was longer than you would typically think, but I closed them up and I haven't
desperate.
opened them. And so I was looking at it, I was like, dude, why don't you at least try the decaf that the man made for you? Quit being a jerk
I gave
about
up.
it.
I gave up.
Yeah, you gave up caring. You gave up caring, and rightfully so.
In fact, I had a plan because I have another 2 pounds of decaf I'm going to roast up. I was going to just bring it and not even tell you.
Not even tell me it's decaf.
And then go, what do you think of that? Wait till you get the headaches. What do you think of that coffee?
Jerk. It was really good.
You like
the
the
Rwanda
Rwanda?
was
Yeah.
very,
I liked
very
it too.
good.
I liked it too.
It was great black. It was great with cream and sugar. It was just a terrific coffee, period.
It was
just a
good.
terrific coffee with some really good flavors. But I've got another coffee on the way.
On the way?
Yeah. Remember Chris Griffith? He was on the last episode, and he said that he misspoke for the roaster in Orlando that he was trying to give credit to. He called him like second
Roast?
Second roast.
And he meant, yeah.
And I couldn't find him anywhere, second roast.
Yeah.
So I just kind of gave up. But Chris hit me up and say, hey, it's second crack roasters.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
I felt like I dissed them because I didn't even get their name right.
A little bit.
So what I did to try and make up for it is I ordered 2 bags of coffee from him today.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did. They offer
How
blends.
was that experience? Only blends?
Blends.
12 ounce? 16
yeah,
ounce?
16-ounce blends for
$15.
$12.
$12, yeah,
$12
okay.
bucks. So they had a interesting case study because they said free shipping on $24 or more.
Yeah.
And that's 2 bags. 2 bags of 16 ounces at $12 a pound. Now, they wouldn't tell you exactly what the beans were. You know what I mean? It was just kind of a blend.
Yeah.
Don't tell you exactly where the beans are. They tell you where they're from, Brazil, South America.
Sure.
But, you
Probably changes so much that they
Probably
just...
changes
That's the
quite a
point of
bit.
blends, usually.
and they will grind it for your convenience if you want it. You can order whole bean or ground.
Yeah.
So, which is whatever. They've got a market that they're trying to serve, and that's good to go. But anyhow, I felt like I dissed them a little bit, so I ordered some coffee off their site. I don't know if they're ever going to get it, though, to be real honest with you, because I recognize that the store was powered by Shopify, and because I've got a little bit of Shopify experience now, I realize that I'm the 7th order from their Shopify store.
Because of the number?
Because of the number.
Yeah.
So my order number is 1007.
Nice.
And they're a much larger joint than we are. Because, they've got like a storefront, right?
Maybe they've gone all the way around.
Maybe, but I haven't gotten an email back yet saying,
like when you're at In-N-Out and your number's like 556 and then they call number 2, you're like, what?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they went all the way around. You'd think, though, that if it was 1,000, it would go to 1,100.
Or, yeah, exactly.
But I don't know.
You go all the way
So
up
I think I was order number 1007.
Okay. Do you have
Number
the confirmation?
I've got the confirmation.
Yeah.
So
it's coming.
It's coming.
Have a little
coming.
faith.
So anyhow, I'll get you some, Mike, when it comes in. If you want some blends.
Yeah, I like blends.
Yeah. So I ordered 2 pounds from Second Crack Roasters in Orlando to make up for the fact that we called them Second Roast.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Our apologies.
I'm sorry you always go to Second Crack as well. But anyhow.
Well, maybe they don't. It's just a name.
It's just a name. It's just a cool name. I mean, what the heck does Orange Cactus mean? Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
It doesn't.
Nothing.
Yeah. Name of a company.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Interesting.
I'm thinking about it the last couple days.
The Orange Cactus or Second Crack?
No, just the naming of branding, the name behind a company, and the specifically coffee companies.
Yeah.
So, some have like a tie-in, some don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Some are personal stories, and they go, well, this has a personal meaning for me, right?
Yeah.
So we went with this.
Yeah.
Like Ironclad, right? But that has a tie-in with the city, I guess.
Yeah.
From where, I don't know.
From wherever it's from.
Massachusetts or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
With produces iron, so they went with iron. And
Iron.
But
Iron.
what is Orange Cactus? Nothing more than just
It's
a
personal
vision
for me.
of a man standing on the deck of a ship, staring out right into the ocean, thinking, Orange Cactus.
Yeah.
I think it ties in with where we're from.
Yeah.
So that works.
Arizona. Mm-hmm.
We're a stone's throw, as they might say, or as the crow flies from the first northern saguaro
Yeah.
in Arizona.
The King Saguaro, he sits right at 3,000 feet, and he overlooks the entire valley.
We got to get a pic of that guy.
We got
to get in front of that. We got to do an AeroPress brew in front of that guy.
Yes, we got to take the videos. We got to do everything on location with the first saguaro.
Just to let you know what we're talking about, you can take an interstate route called I-17 here in Arizona.
Yes.
And it takes you down south. And if you go from where we live, which is more central Arizona, down towards Phoenix, you will get to a point that Jake's saying is right about 3,000 feet.
It's
before
right at 3,000
you descend these switchbacks where there's quite a few accidents, actually. It's not a very safe road.
Yeah, it's beautiful over there, though.
But off to the right, as you're headed to Phoenix, there's one standing saguaro on the left.
It's on the left, yeah.
If you're headed towards Phoenix.
Yes, it's on the left. If you're heading... Yeah, because it's in between the north and southbound lanes.
Oh, okay, so
He's
then
right
in the middle.
He's right in the middle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and he is the very highest elevation saguaro that you will find in the world.
In the world?
Well, I don't know,
Yeah,
but in Arizona for sure. So
our world.
In the world.
Yeah, the world's only as big as your bubble.
Yes. So they don't grow any higher in elevation.
No, they don't.
He's the king.
So I think that's what you mean.
He's the king right there, the king saguaro.
And so it's pretty cool. And what's neat about it, as you've pointed out too, they start as a single cylinder.
Spear.
Also known as a spear.
Yeah.
And then they have the arms.
At about 75 to 100 years old, they get arms.
And this one's got quite a few arms.
Yeah.
So it's up there.
Yeah. He's
It
old.
overlooks the family of saguaros below.
Yeah. All his little kids, all his little kidrons.
Yeah.
Running around in the Valley of the Sun, all the way down into Mexico.
We'll get a shot of it.
We'll get a
I don't think
shot.
we'll have anything in time for the video version of the podcast, which would be cool.
No.
But
Well, maybe.
no. That's Monday.
I'm heading down tomorrow.
You're not taking my camera.
No, I'm not going to take your camera. I'm going to take an iPhone and take a picture at 75 miles
Oh,
an
yeah, you
hour.
can take a
while
picture.
while I'm driving past him. There he is. Oh.
Did you see it right there?
That was it. That was
it.
totally it. Oh, that's a great shot. That's a great shot
Yeah, if
right
you can
there.
get something, that would be cool. But
We'll get
it
something.
won't do it justice.
It won't do him justice, yeah.
Orange Cactus.
So, anyways, further north on that I-17, we come to my coffee experience that I'd like to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Camp Verde,
Camp Verde.
for wrestling for my 3 boys.
Yeah, it's like a big campsite.
Yes. And at that campsite, at the outskirts of the edges of the campsite,
It's a full town.
there was
Sorry, Camp Birdie.
I looked
A lot
before
of
I
camping
left.
sites there, though.
Thanks a Latte. And I talked about it on the Daily Ristretto, but there was a coffee shop there called Thanks a Latte.
There you go. See that name?
Boom.
Ties in, doesn't
Ties
it?
in. Yeah, it sure does. And they roast their own stuff. They roast
do?
their own
They
stuff.
have a
there.
roaster sitting
They have
there?
a roaster sitting inside there. And I wanted to talk to you about that. They've actually got quite a few roasters inside. One they use and one they're trying to sell. What do you think of that?
I think that's well within their freedom to do so.
They've got a hot top for sale.
Oh, nice. Is
Yeah.
it used? New.
It looks new.
Yeah, it's got to be new.
It looks new to me. They've got a hot top for sale. And they I was trying to find a picture here. I think it's on an Ambex. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like
Ambex?
what you said before.
Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to try and find the photo here real quick on my phone, then I'm going to hand it over to Mike, and I'll tell you the story of it.
Yeah, remember, I think you put
Okay.
a picture out there. Or no,
there
you
we go.
sent me a
There we go.
Somehow there was a
So
picture.
I go in, and the first thing that I see as soon as I step in is a Yama cold brew dripper for sale. It's the 3-foot wood with the glass beakers and cylinders and all this other cool stuff on there, and it's for sale for $225. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I know that I can get that thing for new for the same price.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's y'all trying to do up in here?
What's the deal?
And I'm like, why are you not displaying this? I mean, it's cool. When we went to Peixoto, remember they had it going, and it's just cool to see. It's a talking piece. I mean, it's a talking point. It's awesome. It's cool. The Yama is cool. And I said, well,
is
do you
cool.
guys still offer cold brew? And he's like, oh yeah, but we make it in a 5-gallon bucket now. And I was like, you mean the toddy? And he's like, oh yeah, the toddy. It's over there.
Did he really say bucket?
Yeah. And so I was like, here you
good.
are.
That's
You're
good.
going from this sweet device, right, that looks all cool. And I understand it's inconvenient, doesn't make much, whatever. I understand there are drawbacks to using it as opposed to the toddy. But you're like, nah, now we just make it in a bucket. It's like, it was special, bro. And now you ruined it for me.
Yeah, it took too much time.
Yeah.
And probably, the demand for cold brew is probably pretty high in the summer.
Yeah.
So probably go through a
and
lot
it's
of
warm out there. So,
Pardon me.
yeah,
Excuse.
you are pardoned.
Excuse.
You're
me.
excused. So then we start talking. We start chit
No,
chatting.
no, seriously. Sorry.
But,
Pause.
oh.
That was good.
All right. So he said, cold brew. I didn't have any of the cold brew. I didn't try it, so I can't speak to it. But then I asked him, questions about coffee, espresso, and roasting. And he answered all the questions. He was super cool. Super cool. But then as he's making me espresso, I had tried I tried a double shot of espresso, just espresso. And then I tried the Verde Macchiato. And he was trying to tell me that, Starbucks doesn't make a macchiato correctly. We make the macchiato correctly.
True macchiato.
A true macchiato.
The Italian version.
And then he made me some syrup-filled something Verde Macchiato drink. It was not a traditional macchiato either. It was like their version of the Starbucks version.
Oh, it's Camp Birdie.
Yeah, so no big deal. Dude was very friendly.
Yeah.
But we talked about single origin. No, we don't offer single origin, all blends. And he said he knows what single origins are because he used to work at a coffee bar in Sedona
Okay.
that
Oh,
only
nice.
served
Yeah.
single origins.
SOs.
And then I go over to look at the roaster, and the roaster's not hooked up to anything. So I ask him,
You selling this one too?
you guys roast this?
Yeah.
And he's like, he just drags it outside on the patio and roasts. I was like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
And then while I'm sitting there, he's dusting off a Chemex. And I'm like, you guys do pour-overs as well? And he's like, yeah, but we don't, it's not advertised. It's not on the menu. So they got this big confusing menu, but pour-overs are not on there. But they had the Chemex and they had the Kalita, and ask him how many it does. Not many. But so you've got to ask for it when you go in there.
Yeah.
So I have a couple questions for you, Mike. One, would you buy a $1,500 hot top roaster from a coffee shop?
No.
Is that an impulse buy that you would make, $1,500?
I would not. When I buy something like that, especially $1,500, I want to go somewhere that I know. If it's a shop, I want to see a row of different options, and then I want someone to tell me, "Here's what we've got." I want to go to a specialty shop that features roasters. We'll dial it in. Or I'm going to go to Amazon and read reviews. I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to Google it. Yeah, I'm not just going to buy. Now, that doesn't mean they won't sell it. Somebody else could trust a shop, trust the baristas, know the owner, and the owner says, hey, this hot top is great. He's not lying either. It is. A hot top's a great little machine. But I wouldn't be compelled to buy it at all. I think part of that has to do with it's confusing. What are you about? Are you about serving coffee and then you'll sell me, if I ask for a Chemex, you'll pour me a Chemex? You got a roasting machine over here. You know, what are they trying to, are they trying to appeal to the home roaster? Are they trying to appeal to the third wave? Are they trying to serve up flavorful macchiatos and say they're different than Starbucks? What are you about? What is your thing?
They don't have anything. And they just switched ownership.
And that could be why.
In last November.
Maybe there's a transitional phase.
There definitely is a transitional phase.
A little slush phase, as the corporate world would call it.
But here's the thing. It was a great lesson for us. For us.
For us?
To learn from. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh.
If you want to sell roasters in your cafe, you need to, I'm going to fix a problem for them.
You got to sell them.
You have to have roasting days where you invite people in that are interested in roasting and you teach them how to roast.
Yeah.
And then you have the roaster that they just used for sale. And you answer their questions.
Yeah.
And they take that home. And then they can roast. They can come back. You can sell green beans. They can buy it from you. They can ask questions of you. They can move up. They can do all these different types of things. You become the home roasting guy for them. That's how you sell roasters in your cafe.
Yeah, exactly. And to add to that, before you continue, it reminds me of another shop that was trying to sell a lot of specialty brewing devices. They were trying to sell French presses, pour-overs, and even another one, but the shop itself didn't use any of that equipment.
Right.
They didn't use any of it. They used the traditional batch brewers, or, you know what I mean, or just pull shots of espresso, just your standard, second wave setup.
But we sell all this other stuff.
But they wanted to say that they were a specialty shop, and so they had all this merchandise for sale. You know, the Bodum grinder, and they had some really nice Simonelli espresso machines that you could drop $1,500, $2,000 on, which I guess, they could say those are probably the only thing that they would be able to tell you a little bit about. But they didn't use any of the other equipment. So would I buy equipment from someone that doesn't even use it themselves?
No.
That's kind of the connection, I think.
I wouldn't.
You're getting at.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to sell that stuff, teach people how to use it. Have your baristas use it. And then they say, that was really good. How do you do that?
Exactly.
And then you have to say, let me show you.
Yeah.
In fact, I can sell you one. We can make it for you. I can show you how to do it. I can teach you right now.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Or if it's a busy shop, I got you. Maybe, hand them a card. We do it on Saturdays, or we do it at this time, or whatever. But we're going to teach you how to use it.
You don't want it to look like an afterthought.
But it is an afterthought.
I don't want to drop $1,500 on your afterthought. If you had maybe 3 or 4 different ones or the same model, and in front of that was one I could tell you use, it's plugged in, a little sign next to it that says, hey, first Saturday of every month, come on down, we'll show you how to use it.
Yep.
Now I'm drawn to you, especially roasting, more than Amazon. Because there's so much, I don't even know where to begin. No problem, we got you. Just come watch us.
Yeah.
We'll show you what this machine can do. I'll give you some of the beans to take home. Try it yourself, you'll be blown away. You come back and drop $1,500 with me, and we'll start this. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Absolutely. And you know what else was an afterthought? And that's what really drove the whole thing home to me, is I saw the mugs that they were selling on display as well.
Yeah.
The mugs were clearly an afterthought. Like, no thought went into the mug. We just want to brand it and sell it.
Yeah.
And I was offended a little bit. And I was like, I'm not buying that. And then it slapped me in the face because it was like, Jake, haven't you done the same thing? Or haven't you at least thought about the same thing?
Yeah.
Right? And I can relate now to him because I feel pressure.
Call the cattle black.
Because you said you wanted to sell a mug that you wanted to hold above all other mugs. Yeah. And I was like, and I made fun of you at the time. But you were right. You were right. It doesn't...
Good.
Does it fit?
You heard it here first.
Is it on theme with what you're trying to do, with who you are? Is it special to you? Does it have meaning? Is it meaningful? Was it thought out? Was it thoughtful?
Yeah.
That's what people want to connect with. I don't want your afterthoughts.
Yeah.
I don't want, you just wanted to have a mug just because you're a coffee shop. You feel like you have to have a mug to sell?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I order something from the bar, are you going to serve it to me in that mug? No.
Nope.
Then why are you trying to give it to me? And then I saw this little prize pack for a latte art throwdown or whatever, and they had, from the espresso parts, they had a latte cup or a mocha cup or whatever.
Yeah.
Like something that a coffee shop would actually use that you can take home. And like, if you want me to take that home and use it at home, well, give me the cool stuff that you're using. Let me buy the cool stuff that you're selling over there.
Yeah.
Or that you're using. Oh, that's not for sale. Okay, well, I don't want this plain mug, ugly mug, with just your branding and address on it.
Yeah.
It's not cool to me. It doesn't excite me. It's not enticing to me. It's clearly an afterthought, just a way for you to try and make more money. And I don't want to be that guy.
I'm sorry. I'm just reminded of your experience with the Mazda salesman, and we don't have to get to details.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Right.
That was great.
You roll up to this joint all interested in buying a Mazda, and you were serious.
Yeah, I was.
You're
I
ready
ended
to
up
pull
buying,
the trigger.
I ended up buying one, but not from him.
Yeah, and so make a long story short, you're sitting in there, and this guy's, he's suffering. It's a little hot out, and
it's in Lancaster, California. It's over 100 degrees. My man, the salesman's name is Josh, and he is sweating through his shirt, and he is trying to show me every feature the 2005 Mazda MPV has. How the chairs fold down, how the seats fold down, and all this other stuff. And I've got Easy was just born, or she was pregnant with Easy. I can't remember, but my second oldest. So we were having two, and it was time to upgrade.
Sure.
And I asked him the question.
Yeah.
What do you drive? Mm-hmm. Would you buy one of these?
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he says, "No way. I drive a Saturn. It's safer."
You couldn't make that up.
You can't make it up.
No, absolutely not. No. This thing's not very safe.
No.
In fact, mine's the brown Saturn over there.
Mine's the brown Saturn. It's safer. I wouldn't drive a Mazda. Are you kidding me?
That reminds me. That's perfect. That's a perfect example of, hey, we have this fancy V60 brewer. Oh, do you guys use it? No,
we sure don't.
No,
but you can buy it for $30.
It's too hard to use.
Yeah,
we use a batch brewer. Whatever.
We get a more consistent. we get more consistent extraction from our batch brewer.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't wonder why our sales are down on these V60s.
Doesn't make any sense.
No. Nobody's interested.
Why are you trying to sell it wholesale anyways? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And I think you're right. I think it's in the back of a book. There's a checklist on what you need to have as a coffee shop. Mugs is one of them.
It's high on the list.
Yep.
Get mugs. Doesn't matter where you get them
One
from.
of the nice to haves, but not must, is feature a roaster. That will make you seem like you know what you're talking about.
You're legit.
You're legit. There you go. Yep. No, actually, I prefer the Saturn.
Yeah.
That's the saying.
My Saturn is safer than this Mazda.
Saturn is safer. Yeah.
Then why would I buy this Mazda? Well, I'm just going to go to the Saturn dealership. And for a salesman, why don't you? I could tell why you're not a good salesman. Because you should be selling Saturns.
There you go.
You should not be selling Mazdas.
There's many ways you could word that too without lying, but just be like, I can't really afford one. That's what I've heard from dealers. Like, I can't really afford one. I drive the Saturn, or not right now. I drive a Saturn. You don't have to say anything other than no.
You'd be honest. You'd be honest and say, this is not what I'm driving. I drive this now because that's what I can afford. But if I had the money, this, that, and the other thing, and I was growing my family, whatever, this is the one I would get.
And I would say,
if you don't believe it, why are you selling it?
Exactly. If you can't sell it without finding yourself having to lie, you need to move on and sell something else.
And sell something different.
Go hit up the Saturn dealership.
Yes.
That wouldn't have worked out for you.
See if because Saturn went out of business. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're right. Their bumpers didn't dent. They shattered.
Yeah.
Much safer.
Exactly.
Much safer than that dent that you got.
Perfect.
So anyway. Thanks a Latte was cool. I'll probably be back if I go back to Camp Verde. But it really was the service that was, the dude was cool.
Yeah. Which your
service was good.
You'll go back because of that.
I'll go back. I'll go back for that dude.
Which is stark contrast to a place that's got their theme and what they're about all polished, dialed in, but their service is just poo.
Yeah.
You ain't going back.
I'm not going back.
You don't care if they've got free cuppings, free roasting sessions.
Great mugs.
Yeah. So it just shows you where the value is. It is weighted. Obviously, there is more value in service, but doesn't mean that you can't also have everything else in that experience.
It just takes time. It takes time. But now if you're buying a cafe, it takes time to.
And maybe as you go back, you'll see these improvements.
Yeah, maybe.
And hopefully, and that would be cool. We can document the progress of Thanks a Latte.
But I gave him some love on TripAdvisor because there was the rate us on TripAdvisor everywhere. There was a card by the register.
Yeah.
There was an 8.5 by 11 sheet asking me to rate them on TripAdvisor where I picked my coffee up.
Yeah.
There's a TripAdvisor in the bathroom next to the hot top. Maybe not that much, but you get the point. They really wanted me to rate them at TripAdvisor.
Interesting.
So this is what I did for them.
What'd you do?
I went to TripAdvisor and I rated them. And I wrote a review.
Did they kick it out? Did the algorithm say nope?
Nope. The algorithm kept me because I kept it short. And then they responded, thank you.
Oh,
Thanks a latte. Said thank you.
They didn't say thanks a latte?
Nope. They just said thank you.
They should have said thanks a latte.
They should have said they should have said something. I set up an account for you. Okay, it was easy because I just signed in with Facebook. But I went out of my way to give you a review.
Do you
that
review?
you asked for. I'm not a native TripAdvisor user.
No.
You asked me to go there. Thank
true.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wonder if you get many reviews. I bet you don't because you don't give nobody no love.
Yeah. Let that be a lesson.
No shout outs.
Let that be a lesson. I did one on Yelp. It's nice because Yelp does the same thing. They'll say, it gives the owner or whoever is in charge of the account can give you feedback. And it's nice. It says, thanks for coming in. We're glad you enjoyed your visit.
Yeah.
Please come see us again when you're in town.
Yeah.
It's something. You're like, nice. They interaction. I think I will. So it's oftentimes easy to get caught up in the busyness of running a business that you forget to run the business. And that's really what it's about. It's about the customers. So don't forget, always say thanks a latte.
And always say thanks a latte. So we got a few minutes left, which is good because I didn't want to talk about us for very long. But
this whole show, what do you mean?
I've been telling you.
I've been telling you the whole show.
that we're going to get the saguaro up on Shopify, that I'm going to get the hats up on Shopify.
Oh, must you?
That we're going to get all that stuff up. And I'm just giving you the Orange Cactus Coffee update.
The rundown, the DL.
Okay, I did it. It's up on Shopify. I've done it. If you want to buy some coffee or some hats, if you want the zero profit hat, it's now available.
Yeah, we've got the fitted and the snapback.
The fitted and the snapback, and there's not many of the large, extra large fitteds left.
Why not?
Because we
just put them up.
We just put them up.
You're already telling them that it's limited supply.
It's already limited. Everything's limited.
It is limited.
These things, I'm not doing this again.
We've got like 3.
I'm not doing. Yeah, there's
We're
like.
not doing it again.
I'm not doing. Not with those hats. They don't. They're cool. I was showing somebody, and they're like, "No, it looks good."
It's a good hat. I like the hat.
It's not.
I've gotten compliments.
I've gotten some compliments as well.
Mentos.
Complimentos?
I need some Mentos.
I've gotten some complimentos also, but it's not perfect the way that I want it. When I look at it, I'm like, it's cool, but I want something more.
Yeah, so
and I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. Before I order another round of hats, I'm gonna figure out how to, do it exactly the way I want it.
So to just kind of reiterate what you're saying there's a hat that's available,
but I don't really like it.
but
if you want to buy it, you can.
There's going to be another iteration at some point that will be better. It's almost like the iPhone.
Yeah,
it's like, should I buy this one or 6 months till my contract ends?
Buy this iPhone 7
It'll
because
be better.
The 8 is coming out in 6 months.
Well, it is a nice hat though. It is a nice hat. I know we had big ambitions for what we wanted. Mainly you, I think, more than anyone else. You're holding yourself to a standard that is probably higher than the average person would hold them to for a hat. Because when I wear it, people are like, that's a cool hat. I like the hat.
Let me be for real, though. There's a difference between Apple and myself. I only put the hats up for sale because you guys asked me to.
Well, that's where I was going.
That's it.
It's for support.
You guys asked me to put the hats up for sale. I put them up for sale. Not because...
Want some OCC gear?
Because you said, dude, stop being stupid and put the hat up there so I can buy it. You said that, and so I'm doing it. But here's the thing. I would not have natively done it.
Yeah. But it's a quality hat. It's not like it's going to fall apart or...
No.
It's not a cheap hat.
It's the same, it's very high quality hat. The snapback and the flex fit, they're good hats. But I'm not happy with the way the script logo on the side turned out. Now it looks fine, but I wanted it more magical. I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking for. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's just, yeah, there it is right there. So you can see pictures of it online, whatever. So, but here's the deal. After going to Thanks a Latte and talking with Mike, something just settled on me that each product should be fleshed out a little bit better. Like Chris Griffith, I don't know if you remember for a couple episodes ago or last episode, he said he's got one coffee for the morning that I just need coffee, and then one for the good stuff later on. So he drinks it differently. And we had talked about wanting that differentiation, that two varieties as well.
Variety.
The Saguaro stands up well to cream and sugar, traditional cup.
Mm-hmm.
The King Cup, something special, something lemon, something zingy, something different, something that you're not going to put cream and sugar in because it's so many flavors in it already.
Yeah. More of a standalone.
A standalone.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you just have to have just the coffee. You can flesh stuff out around it, your products around that. Shirts, posters, keychains. Maybe not keychains, but you know what I'm saying? Or just the show. Like Manny G said, hey, the community wants a shirt, wants this. And I'm getting to it. I'm getting on it. I really am. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting some other stuff going for the community. So we're at 45 minutes though, bro.
Okay. So you're saying that there could be other items, other gear, other things that would just go along with the Sag Life.
That fit more on theme.
With the Saguaro.
With the Saguaro.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because really, that's what it's about. We have a flavor profile in mind for the Saguaro. So yes, it's going to be different beans. That's just how coffee is.
They're going to be single origins, but they're all going to match this flavor profile.
Yeah. And it's going to be kind of accustomed to the way you like your coffee, maybe at a certain time, or maybe you like it all the time that way, but the Saguaro is going to deliver what you expect.
How you drink
and so
it.
that becomes part of your life, part of your routine.
Yeah.
And there's other ways that you can say that this is a part of you, be it in a shirt, a hat, a keychain, whatever.
Maybe not
whatever
a
that,
keychain.
whatever that you want to do a keychain. I don't know. So you're saying other things that just kind of promote that part of your life,
that round out that, or that stays on
that
theme,
lifestyle,
but extends from the
coffee
the
lifestyle
cup to the rest of you.
To the rest.
Yeah.
The left.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. You know what else I'm saying? Thanks for listening and peace out.
Thanks a latte.
Thank you indeed for listening. As always, you can find the show notes at orangecactuscoffee.com/episode 54. And again, if you have any questions that you want Scott Rao to answer, please hit us up. Jake at orangecactuscoffee.com, Mike at orangecactuscoffee.com. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later.